Crumbling Keep has published a game that's gotten me excited, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about it. Marching Order is a solo or cooperative dungeon delve that plays like choose your own adventure in Darkest Dungeon's analog bastard child. You can play on your lonesome or bring some friends together to share in the hilarious misery. Buy your rogues, put them in the dungeon, and start making some choices. Combat is done in a line. The sellsword can hit what's right in front of it, the archer can hit creatures 4 spaces away, etc., etc. I wouldn't expect to stay where you are, however. The monsters have a way of shaking things up. Get your coin, go back to the town of Rot Bottom and buy some more gear. You only have so much room in your inventory and you need to make sure that you have enough torches. Gamble some with your friends in Rot Bottom's gambling halls, or even pit yourself against the dice. Then do a little carousing on the carousing table and get to work on the next delve. There's coin to be won, rogues. That is the description from the designers of the game, and I really wanted to learn more about this game. So I did a little bit of delving, and here's some of the things that I found out that have excited me about this title right now. From what I see, from what I've been able to find out online and see about this title so far, this is really grasping for the old school RPG feel, even to the point where the game books come in a box, like the old school TSR lines always did. And besides that, it's also the artwork, right? I look at this artwork, and there's a couple of differences in styles I've noticed, but generally speaking, a lot of it makes me feel like this gritty style of art is a bit of a callback or a little bit of an homage to the Fiend Folio. That's what I kind of feel like I'm looking through as I see some of the original art for this title. And this is a fantasy game, and right up front, before I say anything else, I really feel that if this game is as successful as it could be, then why not just branch out like TSR did in the old days and kind of use this engine then to do a sci-fi version and maybe a mutant Gamma World version. Even in Old West, there's not a lot of Old West RPGs out there right now, but I definitely feel that so far, everything I've learned, it could definitely fit those categories very easily. So the fact that this game also plays solo and co-op, I think is a big boost. It's a great boon for any game to be able to say that they can do nowadays. I think over the last several years, unfortunately, we did find the importance of solo option games. And when it comes to RPGing, it kind of helps sometimes. Maybe you're not all crazy about Zoom-style meetings for gaming groups. And something like this, you can solo and still get your feel for it. And it does. Everything I've been reading and seeing about this game, it has, or at least it's trying to grasp for that old school, feel of basic Dungeons and Dragons, maybe a little bit of Tongues and Trolls for a lot of you real old schoolers out there. These are the feels that I'm getting from this game. As far as more contemporary games, I'm getting a very strong feel of 4 Against Darkness, which is a title I do love. I've talked about many times. I've done some playthroughs for here on the channel, and it's given me that kind of feel as well. So that's all coming together in a really positive sense that even makes me want to learn even more about what this game is. The way it talks about everything is in a line, that harkens to the very title itself, Marching Order. Not marching orders like you've gotten your marching orders, soldier, get out there. No, this is literally the marching order of the party of adventurers in the dungeon. Like the old school dungeons, there was a lot of corridors that were barely 5 feet wide, so you had to go single file in a lot of them. But even the ones that you could go double file in, you still always had to know what that marching order was. It was really important how attacks go. So the fact that this is using a line system has also caught my attention. It reminds me of another game I've played a few times here on this channel and I've spoken about, and that's Dungeon Brawler. Is set up in a similar fashion, but that's because it's trying to emulate a side-scrolling 80s arcade game. But this is doing it because it's trying to capture the feel of the old school RPGs. What's the marching order? Who's in the front? Who has the torch? Who's in the back? And everyone else in the middle. Because you never know how an attack's going to happen and who's going to happen to. So this is another feel that's grabbing for the old school style, and I really appreciate that. Another comparison they make is to the choose your own adventure games, or you may know through the TSR version of it, which was my personal favorites, and that's the Endless Quest books. So bringing that style into the game of this caliber makes me really curious about how replayability is going to be, because it's an RPG, yet it has this Endless Quest feel to it. So how is that going to work? I'm really curious to see how that is going to work. And I know that the game has three or four adventures that it's ready with. This was a Kickstarter game, and through the Kickstarter, it was raised enough money to not only be published, but to have a lot of bonuses, a lot of stretch goals opened up. And now I think there was originally 2 that the game was supposed to come with, and then with the stretch goals, it busted another one open, and then it busted a 4th one open. So there are multiple adventures to go through on this. And the more successful the game is, I'm sure that they're already thinking about what more expansions or adventures, modules of these choose your own adventure card style things, what more of them they can come out with. I'm sure that's already running through their minds. You know, another thing I saw in the rules was that, or about the rules that is that it's really simple. There's really, you have one action you can do each turn. Although there's multiple things that fall under that umbrella of the one action, there's still only one action you're doing on your turn. The rules to this, they've talked about being very streamlined, very easy to not only to learn, but to teach as well. Keeping in mind that this seems to want you to be able to play the game ASAP. It seems to definitely want you to be able to get this game, read the rules in a few moments, and be ready to hit the table and have a great adventure. Keeping with the RPG feel, there's another aspect of this game that's drawing me to it, and that's getting better. Not only are you able to buy better gear as you make money and go back to the town of Rot Bottom, what a great name, but also you're able to gain new skills through this advancement. And that's going to make you better. You are changing, you're evolving as the story goes on. And that seems really cool. That seems like something that we all look forward to in RPG-style games. And there's also a lot of character choices that you have in the game. And the Kickstarter opened up even more classes on top of that, like Wizard, Barbarian, Thief, Knight, a Musketeer, and one of them... harkening back to, let's just go there. Harkening back to old TSR and the Expedition of Barrier Peaks, this game has a Cosmic Marine that has somehow been dropped into this fantasy world. So besides the standard choices, there's a lot of new and different style choices too that you're going to find in this game. So that in a sense is going to add to the level of replayability that I was wondering about before. At least having all these different choices and characters to take through these adventures. Overall, I'm really excited about this game. I'm so glad that it's come to my attention, and it's on my radar right now, and hopefully soon it'll be on my shelf and then find its way to my table. So if you're interested in fantasy-based RPG, light RPG style board games, then definitely you're gonna want to check out Marching Order, just like me. You're gonna want it on your radar. Get some more information on this game, and maybe like me, you're gonna determine that you want it, literally want it, instead of just having it on your gaming radar. But that's up for you to decide. I'm here to give you information, not to influence you. So please, there's the information that I have on hand about this. Get some more on your own. But if you're into fantasy light RPG style games, I think you're definitely going to be interested in Marching Order.